we're gonna go ahead and just pin these bangs back. Whew. It's actually pretty warm in here. Alright guys, so this is going to be a wedding get ready with me. My boyfriend and I are here in Durango, Colorado. We're visiting just for a few days just because we are attending his cousin's wedding, and I'm super excited because I have never really actually been to a wedding. It's gonna be a lot more casual, so this is going to be a very classy, casual makeup tutorial. The only thing that's going to be very out there is going to be my eyelashes. I picked up these eyelashes from Amazon and I tried them on yesterday and they were pretty dramatic, but at the same time they were kind of flattering. So I'm really excited. I hope you guys are interested in seeing how I get kind of glammed up. So I already primed my face. I put my skincare, sunscreen, and then primer on my face, so we're good to go. First, what I like to do is kind of do my base. I used to do my eyebrows first, but then I noticed that after I do my eyeshadow and everything else, I feel that once I start my eyebrows, so I noticed that when I used to do my eyebrows first, they used to be a little bit more on the heavier side, and then once I finished the base and then eyeshadow, I noticed that I could have just did very little product on my eyebrows, which made a big difference. So now I start with my base and then I go in with my eyeshadow, and then from there I do my eyebrows. Again, we're just gonna kind of go for a casual, classy look. So I like to use the Fenty Beauty. It's kind of her BB cream, but it's very lightweight. It's a little bit on the dewy side. I do have a little bit of an oilier skin, so sometimes just putting like a little bit of powder on does help a lot. So I like to just kind of put a little bit, probably one squirt on each side. I don't really like to put too much on. The ladies at Sephora, they mentioned how it's better to use a beauty blender, but I tried using that and I felt like it was not really, it sucked up a lot of products. So I like to just use just a stippling brush, and then I go in with that. I think it's coming off very light, but so I kind of just put it around my face. I like to just barely put a little bit of product on my forehead just because I feel that it doesn't really need that much product. I like to focus mainly the product in my cheek areas just because there is a lot more to cover. So don't worry too much about the streaks. I don't know if you guys can see, but it's coming off very streaky. So then I kind of bring it down as much as I can, like under the chin area, down the neck. This is the only mirror that I actually brought. I should have brought a bigger one, but I didn't. So then after that, that's when I use my little beauty blender. I did damp it a little bit, so I just go in and kind of smooth everything out. Just that way it's not streaky, and then it picks up any excess product that's not really needed. And then don't forget to blend up to the hairline. There's a few times where I felt like I did blend good enough, but then when I looked in the mirror, you can see that I missed like my whole hairline. We're actually here in an Airbnb. It's so beautiful. So I'm actually filming a Durango vlog, so if you guys are interested in seeing that, the Airbnb tour will actually be in there. It's so pretty and it has like such a beautiful view outside. It's gorgeous. All right, so basically the foundation is done. I brought some concealer. I'm just gonna put a little bit on just because I feel that I don't really need too much, as well as the wedding is gonna be indoors and it's gonna be a lot later in the evening. So I don't think a lot of people are gonna be able to see my flaws. So I just put very little, yeah, like very little to none. So I use obviously the end and kind of bring it up as close as I can. And then on the corners or at the edge, I like to just kind of bring it up to the temples. That way it gives a little bit of a snatch look. And again to the other side. It helps if you look up. And then whatever it's excess, I kind of just put on the bridge of my nose, just kind of highlight it just because later on we're probably gonna kind of bronze up a little bit. All right, so that is basically the base. I'm gonna go ahead and bake a little bit. I just use this Wet n Wild loose powder. I know it's not like high brand or anything, but it does the job. It's exactly the same, I feel like. So again, I don't really put too much on. I like to just kind of set that part just because we are going to be taking photos. I don't want it to be like cakey, or I don't want it to be creasing. So I only put very little on. All right. So that is basically the base. We're gonna go ahead and start on the eyes. This is the palette that I'm using. So I actually got this palette a little while ago and it's so nice. It has like neutrals, it has glitter, and a little bit of pop of colors. So this just has everything that you can think of. So I did actually film a video using this palette before, so if you guys are interested, I'll go ahead and link it down below, and then I'll also link the palette down below. I believe you can get it at Morphe and Ulta. I got mine at Ulta. I'm gonna go ahead and just play around with a few colors. I brought not that many brushes just because, again, I'm not really going for such a bold look. So these are just basically the brushes that I brought, just like a regular fluffy brush, a blending brush, and then a detailing brush. So my dress is actually more of a mauve color, so I think if we go more neutral, like browns, maybe a shimmer, just that way it's a little bit of a pop. My earrings that I'm actually wearing are going to be a little bit on the gold, and then has kind of a like a shimmery light baby blue or something. I'll have to show you guys later on. So I think we're gonna go more neutral, a little bit of pop of color, very subtle pop of color, and then maybe a little bit of shimmer. So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of go in with one of these fluffy brushes and just go in the color, I think it's Adobe. Go into this shade right here, which I think it's Adobe. So it's actually more of a beige color. I think I'm gonna go ahead and just put that all over my lid just to start with the base of it. We have a very small mirror that we're working with, so I hope I hope it turns out okay. All right, so I'm just packing that all over the lid, kind of blending it up and then bringing it out like this, just that way it kind of gives it some type of like dimension, and it like looks a little bit more flattering with my eye shape. I do have a hard time when it comes to makeup just because I do also have hooded eyes. So having hooded eyes is a little bit more difficult because it seems like you have to add a lot more product and blend it up higher, just because with the hooded eyes it obviously kind of comes down, you know what I mean? So that's where I get kind of discouraged when it comes to doing actual eyeshadow makeups. Okay, so we have the base down. From there, I think I'm gonna go ahead and go into this sun hat right here. Sun hat, and it's kind of this mauve color. Again, I feel like that's the color of my dress. Maybe a little bit, actually, I think it is the color of my dress. I'm just gonna go ahead and just pack it in the outer corners and kind of just build up to that. So then at this point, you just take your time blending. When you do makeup and things like that, you really can't be in a rush because that's when it doesn't blend right. That's when it doesn't look that great. So it does take some time. So just be patient with it. And then I will go ahead and use the other fluffy brush and kind of blend it out even more. We came in yesterday from Phoenix. From Phoenix, we stayed in New Mexico with his mom just for the night because it would have been like a 6-hour drive non-stop. So I could not have done that. So we stayed the night over there in New Mexico with his mom for Thursday night, and then we came up Friday morning, early afternoon. So it was a very nice drive, very relaxing, very the views were just so beautiful. We kind of hung out in, I think it's called downtown Durango, with like the little shopping boutique places. It was actually pretty cool, but I felt like we didn't stay that long just because we were also kind of rushing because we were like, oh, when it's check-in, I want to check in. And then I also wanted to film like a little tour before everybody starts showing up, just because I feel that it would be a little bit of a burden, I guess, for everybody else. So I wanted to get that out of the way before everyone starts to show up, which was nice because I felt like when everybody did start showing up, it was kind of chaotic. So good thing I was able to do that first. So kind of looking at it, it's very subtle. Again, we are trying to go more subtle, classy, but I do want to put a little bit of dimension in it just because it's going to be a little bit dark outside. So I might just go a little bit darker just on the corners and then pop on a glitter and call it a day. I like to film these little makeup videos because one, I mean, I'm not really like a makeup guru. I don't really do, you know, makeup all the time. And if you guys see my videos before, it's like very basic eyeshadow makeup tutorials. And that is basically what I know how to do. And I'm okay with that because, I mean, as much as I think it would be fun to really know how to do like full glam like all the other makeup gurus, I feel like it'll be very difficult for me. And who knows, maybe I will grow into doing makeup a lot more. So I noticed, I don't know if you guys noticed, but this eye is a lot more hooded than this eye. I always have difficulties when it comes to like eyeliner and things like that because I do have to exaggerate this eye a lot more than this eye, it seems. So it's a lot of back and forth type of thing. Okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and blend it out, and then from there, like I said, I'm gonna add a little bit of a darker shade just to the outer quarters, just to bring in a little something. Okay, so you guys are not really picking that up very well. I think we're doing a pretty good job. I think I'm kind of torn between two colors. We can go a little bit more mauve color. I don't know if you guys can see this. This is coming off as really, it's more of like a purple pink mauve color, which is a lot more brighter. However, if we use that one, it's only going to be very little, and then probably a lot more, very little on the corners just to bring a little bit more depth into it, or we can do more of a brown shade. That way it's a very subtle. All right, let's go ahead and just do the brown first, and then we'll go from there. Maybe I will be a little bit more adventurous. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go in with Joshua Tree, which is just this darker, not that dark, but just this more of a brown shade. And then, oh, actually, let's go ahead and go into this shade. It's called Rock On. It's more of a brown orange shade. So let's go ahead and just add the very smallest amount. So for that shade, I'm gonna go ahead and use this very small detailing brush, and then it's just gonna be like the smallest amount, and then put it in there. So we're gonna use the other brush that we were using on the sunset hat and kind of just use that to buff it the right direction, and then after that we'll go ahead and use the bigger, fluffier brush and blend everything even more. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and just do the same thing on the other eye, and then we will be basically almost done. We'll go ahead and pop on a glitter and then lashes, and we'll be done. I don't know if you guys saw, but that is one of my sister-in-laws. All right, and then buff it. Is everybody ready downstairs? Well, I should be almost done. All right, so that is basically the eyeshadow look. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of bring some of that down at the bottom to kind of blend everything together. I'm gonna go ahead and use the sun hat shade and kind of use that at the bottom. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of a glitter. I think we'll do we're gonna do this Sand Dunes shade, which is more of a kind kind of like a beige shimmer. And then we're just gonna do it with our middle finger. I feel like when you use glitter, a brush doesn't really work very well. I think your finger works the best. So I'm just gonna pop a little bit up at the front. All right, so for the shade, I used that Sand Dunes, but I also kind of used a pinch of this Under the Palms glitter, which is more of that brown shade. I kind of used the Sand Dunes more in the inner corner and then a little bit on the kind of blended that with the Under the Palms in the middle, just that way it gives a little bit more of a gradient look. I think it looks pretty good. So as for eyeliner, the saddest thing happened. My eyeliner actually exploded. I opened it yesterday as I was getting ready to come down here, and there was ink everywhere, so I'm not gonna open this. And that's the most difficult part, is when you put lashes on, you know, you kind of need some eyeliner. So I picked up this one. I never actually used this one before, and hopefully it's good. On the packaging, the wand looked way better than it does now, so hopefully it's actually pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of curl my eyelashes. Oh, actually, so after my eyeshadow, that's when I like to kind of do my base makeup. I'll go in first with my bronzer. This one is the NYX matte bronzer in the shade Deep Tan. And I just use one of my fluffy brushes, and I kind of just, I tap it in first where I would like it to be, and then I go up because TikTok taught me like everything else. So I kind of go like that, and then I'll bring it up here and then blend it in my hairline, and then other side. I just got word that we're gonna be leaving in like 30 minutes, so this is great. I thought we would have a lot more time, but this is okay, we're almost done. And then I kind of just use the bottom and kind of blend. I like to kind of squish it like this and kind of bring it down my nose. Not like it really does much, because we don't obviously have, you know, more detailed, a more smaller brush for nose contour. I like this Sweet Cheeks matte blush in the shade Summer Breeze. Again, affordable products, everyone. I'll go ahead and link everything down below if I can find it. So from here, I like to put it just above. Again, same motion, kind of press and then blend up, because we want more of a lifted look. So when it comes to blush is a thing that kind of fades the quickest. So I do like to kind of pack, on a little bit more, because it does tend to fade out. So I kind of use my face powder and just kind of help with any harsh edges. So from there, we're gonna go ahead and do eyebrows. This one's from Maybaline. I'm not too sure what it's called, because obviously the thing faded, but it comes in this little applicator like this. I just used this angled brush to kind of draw on my eyebrows, and I kind of just do this, like tap it, and yeah. So from there, I'll just go ahead and brush up my eyebrows and then fill them in. They look okay. I think they look okay. And another thing that I forgot is my brush to kind of clean up my eyebrows. So we're going a little bit more on the bushier side. I'm gonna go ahead and curl my eyelashes, and I think we're gonna be basically done with the makeup look. I'll go ahead and also do my hair off camera, just that way you guys get the full effect. I'm gonna go ahead and go in with my very dirty highlighter. This is actually the Beca Highlighter, and I think it's called Prosecco Pop. and I really like this highlighter. I've had it for a very long time, and this is a full-size highlighter, so I didn't even make a dent in it actually. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of put some at the top, a little bit underneath the brow bone, and then some on the nose. Alright, so this is basically how it looks with the eyelashes on. So I have no clue what happened to the footage of me closing out this video, but here I am. So I hope you guys liked this makeup tutorial, and I will see you guys next week for next week's video.